No one can defeat a powerful mind. The biggest guru mantra is, never share your secrets with anybody. It will destroy you. A person should not be too honest. Straight trees are cut first and honest people are screwed first. The fragrance of flowers spread only in the direction of the wind, but the goodness of the person spreads in all directions. Before you start some work, always ask yourselves 3 questions: why I am doing it, what the results might be, and will I be successful? Only when you think deeply and find satisfactory answers to these questions, go ahead. A man is great by deeds, not by birth. Humbleness is at the root of self-control. As soon as the fear approaches near, attack and destroy it. Is not present in idols. Your feelings are the soul is your temple. Never make friends with people who are above or below you in status. Such friendships will never give you any happiness. Treat your kid like a darling for the first 5 years. For the next 5 years, scold them. By the time they turn 16, treat them like a friend. Your grown-up children are your best friends. Drop the idea that attachment and love are one thing. They are enemies. It is the attachment that destroys all love. We should not fret for what is past, nor should we be anxious about the future. Men of discernment deal only with the present moment. Never reveal what you have thought upon doing, but by wise counsel keep it secret, being determined to carry it into execution. The world's biggest power is the youth and beauty of a woman. Avoid him who talks sweetly before you, but tries to ruin you behind your back, for he is like a pitcher full of poison with milk on top. Till the enemy's weakness is known, you should be kept on friendly terms. Even if a gem be placed on the foot and a mirror on the head, still, the gem will not lose its value. Never settle for anything less than what you deserve. It is not pride, it is self-respect. You can win over a greedy person by offering money, a proud person by covering before him. You can win a fool by agreeing with him, and you can win a scholar by truth only. A person who cannot decide his goal simply cannot win. Books are as useful to a stupid person as a mirror is useful to a blind person. For the moon, though one, dispels the darkness, which the stars, though numerous, cannot. A person who is aware of future troubles and fights against them with his intelligence will always be happy. And a person who remains inactive waiting for good days to come will destroy his own life. The enemy's enemy is a friend. Give your wealth only to the worthy, and never to others. The water of the sea received by the clouds is always sweet. Don't judge the future of a person based on his present conditions, because time has the power to change black coal to shiny diamond. Time perfects men as well as destroys them. Test a servant while in the discharge of his duty, a relative in difficulty, a friend in adversity, and a wife in misfortune. The poor wish for wealth, animals for the faculty of speech, men for heaven, and godly person for liberation. The wise man should restrain his senses like the crane and accomplish his purpose with due knowledge of his place, time, and ability. It is better to die than to preserve this life by incurring disgrace. The loss of life causes but a moment's grief, but disgrace brings grief every day of one's life. The serpent, the king, the tiger, the stinging wasp, the small child, the dog owned by other people, and the fool, these 7 ought not to be awakened from sleep. If one has a good disposition, what other virtue is needed? If a man has fame, what is the value of other ornamentation? Once you start working on something, don't be afraid of failure and don't abandon it. People who work sincerely are the happiest. Doesn't dwell in the wooden, stone, or earthen idols. His abode is in our feelings, our thoughts. He who is overly attached to his family members experiences fear and sorrow, for the root of all grief is attachment. Thus, one should discard attachment to be happy. We return evil for evil, in which there is no sin, for it is necessary to pay a wicked man in his coin. One whose knowledge is confined to books and whose wealth is in the possession of others can use neither knowledge nor wealth when the need for them arises. The king shall lose no time when the opportunity waited for arrives. There is no austerity equal to a balanced mind, and there is no happiness equal to contentment. There is no disease like covetousness and no virtue like mercy. Even if a snake is not poisonous, it should pretend to be venomous. Swans live wherever there is water, and leave the place where water dries up. Let not a man act so, and comes and goes as he pleases. One destitute of wealth is not destitute, he is indeed rich, but the man devoid of learning is destitute in every way. We have to make people soft who are hard, to attract those who are far. If they do badly for us, then even considering our aim, we should always love them. Education is the best friend. An educated person is respected everywhere. Education beats the beauty in the youth. Wealth, a friend, a wife, and a kingdom may be regained, but this body, when lost, may never be acquired again. All the creatures are pleased by loving words, and therefore we should address words that are pleasing to all, for there is no lack of sweet words. There are 3 gems upon this earth: food, water, and pleasing words. Fools consider pieces of rocks as gems. Learn from the mistakes of others. You can't afford to make them all on your own. There are only 2 ways of dealing with evil persons or thorns: crush them under your boot or stay far away from them. I consider Almighty above all, so only I always propagate His true message of Vedas. It is the mind of man alone that is the cause of his bondage or freedom. It is better to be without a king than to have a bad one. Sometimes you have to suffer in life, not because you were bad, but you didn't realize where to stop being good. The biggest suspense of life is that you don't know who is praying for you and who is playing with you. A moment of patience and a moment of anger can help us avoid 1,000 moments of sorrow. One must be satisfied with whatever he has as a wife, wealth, and income. Still, one must never get satisfied with the knowledge and acts of charity. Desires of the mind. Who has got all the cushy things? Everything depends on destiny, therefore count your blessings. Do not spend even a single day when you cannot find 5 things: successful businessmen, educated Brahmin, soldiers, a river, and a doctor.